switching over to a story, if you would, a recent client or one that you think kind of paints a good picture of how you were brought in, how did you figure out what to help the management team with, and then where did that lead, and how did that wrap up? It'd be great to kind of paint a verbal story for the audience.
Boy, there are a lot of them, and that's a blessing.
Yes.
But I'm going to pick one because it has a lot in one package. Extremely well-run company. Closed a good relationship with a sponsor who saw the latent potential I was telling you about. And the truth of it is, and this client does a lot of things world-class, sponsor client. And when they tried to tee me up for the typical post-close planning thing, weren't that excited about it, but took it on based on the trust of the head of the deal team. So there's that T word.
Sure.
There it goes. And I personally did not mind the healthy skepticism because you'd rather know what you're dealing with that's overt than not know what you're dealing with, which may pop up at the doggonedest time. So the planning session commenced this way. There are a lot of things that happen, so I'm going to give you the top few. The deal was consummated based on an absolute gonna happen, we're adding this additional line of business. It was a fait accompli. Coming out of the planning session, everybody said, that's a dilution of our focus, we're not doing it. Nobody saw that coming, nobody. So I knew I was dealing with a good team. I knew I was dealing with a good team and a good deal team. Then we start the more robust scale. There's nothing wrong with this company except we were anticipating robust scalability. So we turned how the business model worked into a picture. Why? Because there were key pieces in the process that were not scalable, and we didn't exactly understand it because none of it was documented sufficiently. It resided in one person's head. And that person, although a world-class professional, world-class, did not fully comprehend that the bottleneck was who they saw in the mirror every morning, okay?
Right.
But when you turn it into a picture, it's like, oh, that's pretty complicated. And here's something else that happened pretty funny. We were about to hire a lot of people to learn how to do this process, and we were going through a process map review, and we're talking maybe 35 pages, 11 by 17 kind of paper. It was complex. And picked up on something like that added somewhere between 40 and 60% capacity, just one switch in 2 steps. One switch in 2 steps. From that point on, she was proselytized,
right?
Okay, and knew exactly what we're doing. Well, that led into revising the technology to keep up with the scalability. It helped when it happened to be healthcare. It helped on audits. There's a funny war story there that I cannot tell because everybody knows who it was, but it turned the auditor into a fan.
Nice.
And asked if they could borrow the technique to take to other people that they audited. That was funny. And then the final thing on this was that it gave us actually the outline for revised policies and procedures, as well as onboarding. This is where you fit in this machine. And then the punchline was this cache of data that was extremely valuable, but there were no standards in this particular therapy. And they recognized that they could provide a benchmarking base to help standardize this particular therapy, and my goodness, it was a game changer. Mm-hmm. So I got a lot of those types of stories, but you don't have that much time.
No, we don't. No, we don't.